What is up, guys? So coming back at you today, we're going to be talking about the VA home loan, since we just bought a house, and I can actually tell you guys what our process was, what the requirements are, everything that you need to do for it, and how many times that you can use it. So we'll get to that in a second. Alright, so we just recently bought a house last month, so I can actually tell you exactly how this works because we've been through it. But to start off, so some big things that I've heard from other people is that you can only use your VA loan one time. That is false. You can use your VA loan over and over again as long as you sell the property that you had before. If you sell the property that you had your VA loan on, then you get all your benefits back. So you can take up to $453,000 for a VA loan. And then after that, you'll have to have down payment. Now, the VA loan is a truly zero down loan, which helps out the service members because it's a big barrier that most people face, is that they don't have the 10-20% that they have to have cash to put down on a mortgage for a house. So it's actually truly a zero down mortgage. So for us, we actually got back $700. They gave me $700 when I closed on the house. So they paid all closing costs, and they did certain things to the house that I wanted them to do. So next thing, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna get in contact with a realtor. So we got in contact with the realtor, sat down, talked with them. After that, we went and saw a loan officer, talked to him about everything. He gave us interest rate that we'd be qualified for, which the lowest you can go for a VA loan, I believe, is 3.2% right now. It used to be 3.5%, but so that's the lowest that you can go for that. So then you'll get your interest rate from them, and they'll get you pre-approved for a certain dollar amount of money, so you know what kind of houses you can actually be looking at, and this way they know that you are pre-approved for it, so they're not just shopping around for nothing. So after you get done with that, then the fun begins. You get to start looking at houses. So we started looking at houses. We went and looked at 7 houses in one day because the market here is very, very fast. So these houses were going like crazy. So we went and looked at 7 different houses. We found the one that we liked. I think it was on the market for like 3 days. We went, took a look at that, decided that that was the house that we wanted, so then we threw an offer out on the house. So you'll make an offer on the house, you'll tell them, hey, I want to pay this much for it, and you have to pay all the closing costs. And then they can counter back and say, okay, well, I'm gonna do this, and then once you agree on like a set price, then and what you want done, stuff like that, then you can move on. You will get the house inspected. So this you have to pay for out of your pocket, but you end up getting that money back at the end. So I had to pay for that. They came out, inspected the house, says these things need to be fixed. So then we went back on, did another offer to them afterwards, and was like, well, we need a new roof because I'm not gonna buy the house if it doesn't have a new roof. I need the back door fixed, stuff like that. So then they can kind of counter back and be like, well, we'll only fix this. So then it's just a lot of back and forth between what's actually gonna get done and whatnot. Once you guys actually agree on it, then you're gonna have a VA appraiser come out. Now the thing about the VA appraiser is when you get a VA loan, there are certain guidelines that they have to follow because it basically has to be a move-in ready house. That's the way they look at it. So if they come in and find things that are wrong with the house that are not move-in ready, then they have to fix those things, or they will not sell the house. They cannot sell the house to you if they do not fix those things. So a big thing is that it has to have all your appliances. You have to have a stove, you have to have and you have to have a fridge. Your roof has to be intact, all these safety items. So say that your roof is just trash, then they have to fix it because it's a safety item. If your doors don't lock or anything like that, It's a safety item. They have to fix those things. So your realtor will tell you more about that stuff. But there are certain guidelines that they have to follow. Now, when it comes to a VA loan, you have to live in the house for a year before you can sell the house. You can reuse your VA benefits. So if you buy your house for $200,000 and you have to PCS and then you want to rent out your house, you can do that. You can rent out your house and then you can take out another for the rest of your benefits. Then you still have $250,000 worth of benefits that you can reuse on buying another house. There are specific guidelines that you have to meet for that, but it is possible for you to do. Or you could sell the house and then you get all your $450,000 back that you can use, and then you can go buy another house. And you can do that as long as you sell the property and you will go to buy another one, you can do that for the rest of your life. That you can always buy a new house with it as long as you sell the house you're living in first, and you'll always get that money back and be able to take out another one. So you could do a VA mortgage for the rest of your life. That's a nice thing because it's truly zero down, which is nice. So the nice part about the VA loan is it's like a 30-day move-in. So from the day that you put an offer in on a house and they accept it, your 30 days starts. So then you have 30 days from then to move into the house, which is actually really nice because there's no deviation of it. Like you're gonna be moving in 30 days. Cause I know some people that have been like, all right, we're closing on this day, and then they push it back a month and then a month and then a month, and they don't even move into their house for 6 months. So this is like a 30-day, you are moving into your house in 1 month, which is actually really nice. So for us, we were renting a house and we had to do a lease break fee because we were leaving that house early. So there's a lease break fee. So the seller actually paid for our lease break fee. They paid for all of closing costs, and then we got $700 back at the end. So that gave me my $500 back that I had to pay for the inspections. That money came back to me plus an additional $200. So I pretty much came out $0 for the entire thing, and I got $200 back. So that's how that stuff works. So you can kind of tell them what you need to do. Be like, hey, I can move in October, or you can pay a lease break fee, which will end up saving them money anyway. So they will be more apt to paying a lease break fee, because compare that to, say they're paying $1,000 a month for a mortgage and they've got to pay it for another 3 months. That's $3,000. Or they can pay you $1,400 and there's your lease break fee. It's gonna save them, almost $2,000. So they'll be more apt for that. So after you get done with your VA appraisal and all your inspections and everything, your VA appraisal is gonna be last. Then you go to closing table, and it's very easy. You just make sure you work your hand out, do some stretches, because you're gonna be signing a lot of paperwork. But once you get done signing the paperwork, the house is yours, you're good to go. They're going to set you up and be like, okay, this is where you're going to be paying some of your, for your mortgage. This is where you're gonna pay to in case you don't get the bills. Then you get to switch all the utilities and everything over in your name. And then you get to start moving into your house, which is pretty nice. So it was a really easy and simple process for us. We had a really good realtor, a really good loan officer. It's kind of handled everything. Now, qualifying factors. So even though you are in the military, if you have like no credit, you're probably not even gonna get a VA loan, honestly, or it's just gonna be super high interest rate. So best thing I would say is to work up that credit, build it up, get around that 600 range. I mean, better than that's even better. See, I was higher than that, and I believe once you're at about 700 and higher, you qualify for the lowest interest rate. So, but 600, you can be at like a 4%. So it's only like a 0.5% difference. So it's not bad. But that's kind of where you want to be for like a good interest rate for your house. When it comes down to your house, so all your property taxes, all your insurance, and your interest for the house, and all that is going to be built into your mortgage. So your mortgage is going to be one fee that you pay, but it's going to cover your insurance, and it's going to cover your property taxes and the actual cost of the house. So the only thing you'll have to pay after that is just utilities. That's the only thing you'll have to pay out of your pocket. And if you budget it the right way, you can use your BAH to pay for both. So that's what I did. I got a mortgage that was about $350 less than what my BAH entitlement is. So that way I am able to take that $350 and use that for my utilities. So that way I'm truly living here for free instead of having to pay out of pocket for things. Just be sure not to try and get over your head and get like this super nice expensive house. Try to budget yourself, because you do have to take into account all of your utilities that you're going to be paying. Because if you take out a mortgage that's your full entitlement, you might be coming out of pocket $300 a month for all your utilities. So just make sure that you budget it the right way, because you don't want to get in over your head and having to pay out of pocket for stuff. You want to try and make it to where you can live there for free. So other than that pretty much covers the whole VA loan. You can use it multiple times. You can take up to $450,000, $3,000 out if you want to. I don't really think any of us could afford it though, to be honest. Unless you are renting out a house, then you still have that leftover entitlement that you can use for your own personal home. So there's also that. It's very easy to use, very simple. They will explain it more, but I kind of want to just like break down some of the myths that says you can only use it one time. You can use it, because a lot of people are skeptical of using it because they're like, I only get one of these, but that is false. As long as you sell that property, you can use it again, and it'll be another zero down mortgage. So that's actually what we plan to do. We plan to sell this house in about 6 years, 7 years, try to make some money on it, and then take that money and we're going to move. At that point I'll be a civilian. We're going to move somewhere else, and once we get there, use another VA loan on it, and then just take all the money that we made from here, put that as a big fat down payment over there. So then we have a very cheap house at that point, and we will be able to pay that off even sooner and have a lot smaller of a mortgage payment, and it should be able to set us up very nice once we get out to have like a very small, either a very small mortgage payment or just very few years of a mortgage payment. So your typical ones that you're going to want to do is going to be a 15-year or a 30-year. You're not going to want to go any higher than a 30-year, because once you do, that interest is high. The interest isn't that high, but the interest that you are paying into it is very high. You're going to be spending a lot of money in interest, and you're literally just going to be wasting money. So I would not recommend that. When I talk to my loan officer, he says he does not recommend it. So the two that you want to stick with is about a 15 or a 30, depending on the price of your home and depending on where you're at. Because I know if I was back home, houses are a lot cheaper than what they are out here. So depending on the prices of the house, you may be able to do a 15-year mortgage on it and really like pay that thing down quickly. Now if you do sell the house, or if you do pay the mortgage off and you have $0 left on that VA mortgage, you still have to sell that property to get your full entitlement back of $450,000. Now if you pay off the mortgage and you keep the house, then you can only reuse your entitlements, and what's left of your entitlements basically. So best bet is gonna be to sell, or I mean, if you want to, you can start renting out properties and stuff like that. So this pretty much concludes this one. I'm gonna put a video at the end of this for just like quick little sneak preview, I guess, of what the house looks like. I'm also going to drop another video of a full description walk around of my house if you guys want to check that out. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, comment any questions down below that you guys have. I've also been thinking about possibly making some shirts. I don't know. Let me know if you guys would even be interested in that. If I can get, you know, if people are interested in it, and then I can start making some. If not, then I won't even bother. Yeah, so go ahead and stick for the rest of the video at the end of this, and I will see you guys next time.